What's up guys, it's Elliot here. Welcome to today's video. If you clicked on this video, you've probably heard about Amazon FBA. One of the questions that I get asked the most is how much money do I need to start selling on Amazon? We're gonna answer that question in today's video, and I'm gonna put up everything you need to consider right here, which is inventory, shipping, viral launch, Amazon seller account, UPC, logo, packaging design, product photography, and PPC ads. So that'll be up right here. Those are the 9 things that are gonna be your biggest expenses, the things you need to consider before you start selling on Amazon. So let's talk about it. The very first thing on the list is inventory, because you need to actually have products to sell to customers. When you're first starting out, you might order around 200 to 500 units to last you for your first month of selling. And maybe around 300 units is a good estimate of what you might order, because you want to make sure you have enough products to do giveaways and to actually sell to customers, but you want to make sure that you're lowering your risk as much as possible, which means ordering less inventory, because if you have inventory like trapped in Amazon because the markets have shifted, then that's the situation you want to avoid. So let's say for this example, you're ordering around 300 units. So if each of my products is $5 with 300 units, my cost of inventory is going to be $1,500. Now the next thing on the list is shipping costs. This is huge, sometimes overlooked by people, and it's a big mistake. So your shipping cost is going to depend on the size and weight of your product. So air shipping is going to cost around $5 a kilogram, and sea shipping is going to cost around $2 a kilogram. These aren't really set in stone prices, but these are just a general estimate for figuring out how much you're going to pay in terms of shipping costs. Obviously, if you have a lighter product and you can afford it, then you can ship through air in order to get your products to Amazon quickly. I have shipped by air, but now I ship a lot through sea just because I'm placing larger orders and it just makes more sense to ship by sea. Usually shipping by sea is going to make more sense economically, but you might have a lighter product which allows you to ship by air. Assuming your product is 1 kilogram, which is around 2.2 pounds, remember we're ordering 300 units. Let's say we're shipping by sea, then your product is going to cost around $600 to ship from China over to the warehouses in the US. Guys, and shipping cost is super important. Don't overlook this giant expense. Sometimes shipping cost is going to be more expensive than even your inventory cost. If you guys take a look at the air shipping rate of $5 a kilogram, let's take an example of this with this 1 kilogram product. You can see how we'd be paying $1,500 for just the shipping. And remember how we said the cost of inventory is $1,500. So your cost of inventory and your shipping cost is actually the same amount of money. And like I said, sometimes you see cases where your shipping cost is going to be more than your actual inventory cost. So by no means should you ignore this. Shipping cost is a huge factor to consider. So the third thing on the list is viral launch, which is a product research tool. I use viral launch, but I also use Jungle Scout. I don't have a strong preference, but I do recommend viral launch just because it tends to be a little bit more accurate in terms of sales estimates in my experience. That being said, viral launch costs around $29 a month if you're paying monthly, and this is something that you pay in order to do your product research when you're first finding your product, and it should not take you more than a month to find your product if you're doing your product research well and you're putting in the time. So $29 a month is what you need to kind of use this software and find a product. And then after the first month, if you found your product, then you can cancel and just never touch that again until your next product, maybe until your second or third product. With the $29 a month for viral launch, you get market intelligence as well as a Chrome extension for market intelligence. And guys, remember, product research is super important, so you want to make sure you have good software to have accurate sales estimates. I used to use some estimators like Unicorn Smasher. I think there are a few others that I first started, which is fine. You can use that when you're first starting out because those are free, and you can kind of take a look at how do I analyze products. But once you're getting serious about Amazon, you want to make sure you have, viral launch, just to make sure that you have accurate sales data when you're putting down real money. Alright guys, and the next thing on the list is Amazon seller account. So this is the account that you need to have in order to actually sell on Amazon. When you're first starting out, you can sign up for an individual account, which is free, to navigate Amazon Seller Central, take a look at what it looks like behind the scenes, but eventually you will need to upgrade to Amazon professional seller account, which is going to be $40 a month in order for you to actually sell on Amazon's marketplace. Alright guys, and the fifth thing on the list are UPC barcodes. So I'll be making a video on this in the future, but basically your UPC code is the identification number for your product, and you take your UPC, you put it into Amazon system, and they spit out an FN SKU number, which you then send to your suppliers for them to apply to your product and actually have on the packaging. Your UPC barcode is going to cost around $5, and if you go with the more expensive GS1 barcodes, then I believe they cost like hundreds of dollars as well as an annual fee. But I've never had an issue selling with the cheaper barcodes, but that's a topic for another video. Alright guys, and the next 2 points are really important: your logo and your packaging design. You're going to want to hire a graphic designer who's able to help you with these. I personally use Fiverr, which is a great website for hiring freelancers, but obviously it's better to use your network, and if you know someone in your network who is good at graphic design and that type of thing, then obviously reach out to them, see if they'd be able to help you out with something like this. For a good logo, you're going to be paying around $50 on Fiverr, and for packaging design, again, you're going to be paying around $50. Make sure you're going and finding the best graphic designers on this platform if you're using Fiverr though. I've had some bad experiences, but you have to make sure that whoever you're hiring has a lot of great reviews and has a lot of good work experience as well. And the next thing is, again, a super important thing, product photography. You're going to want to have really good photos for your product listing, because that's the first thing that Amazon customers see, and it's one of the most important things for determining the success of your listing. Good product photos is one way to differentiate, and you do not want to be cheap with your photos. I pay around $200 for really great product photos. And I have a photographer who does a really great job. If you guys need a recommendation, feel free to message me and I can refer you guys. And the last thing on the list is PPC, which is pay-per-click, Amazon's in-house advertising platform, and you're going to use PPC to advertise your product to people who are looking for your particular product, and also when you're launching your product. So your PPC is going to vary in cost. I mentor students who don't even use PPC and they're ranking on the first page because they have really optimized keywords, but in general I do recommend that you're using PPC, because PPC is used to turn sales, and in general that's going to be good for your ranking. So I would allocate around $500 for PPC. Some people, again, don't even use PPC, but it is something that I recommend. Alright guys, so if we total all of our expenses, our total comes out to $2,974, around $3,000. And this is a good estimate in terms of how much money you want to have in order to start selling on Amazon. Obviously, the more capital you have available to spend on inventory and Amazon, the better. As a minimum, I recommend around 3 to 5K, but the more money you have, the more you'll be able to finance additional rounds of inventory if your product sells well. Also, stuff like launch strategies, sometimes depending on your launch strategy, you're gonna have, different number of expenses, and depending on, your PPC spend or the number of products you order, again, this number is gonna vary a little bit, but as a minimum, again, I recommend at least $3,000, and then 3 to 5K is a very comfortable place to start if you're selling on Amazon. Some people will say you only need $1,000 to spend on Amazon, and honestly, if someone's telling you that, you're kind of screwing yourself. You can't really at a minimum, the bare minimum I would say is $2,000. But with $1,000, you're not going to be able to grow momentum. You're not going to be able to finance your inventory. You're going to have serious cash flow issues when the second month comes around, because Amazon has this weird payment thing where they only pay you every 2 weeks, right? So once you sell out, basically your ranking, all the work that you put into launching, it's gonna kill your ranking, because you're not gonna have the money to reorder and refinance on time. And so really, you can't really start with $1,000. There are ways to do, like, test the market with a few products here and there, but if you're doing bulk inventory, then you're gonna want at least $2,000, comfortably $3,000 to $5,000 in order to start selling on Amazon. And guys, remember, it depends on what you're doing and what your strategy is. You might pay for something like inspection, you might pay for giveaways, and so it really depends on what you're doing. But this is just a general indication of how much you would need in order to sell. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you got any value out of today's video, please drop a like, Subscribe for future videos if you want to learn about Amazon FBA. And I'll see you guys in the next one.